Okay, let me just tell you what's just happened, right? I had my thing set up, and do you remember I says that my whole setup's been messing about? Well, just about to start, the legs fell off. Literally, legs fell off. So then I'm rushing around to try and see how I can hold my phone. And then I realised I've got another one in the cupboard. Don't even know when I bought it. So I've just had to really set it up really quickly, and it's a little bit different. But there we go. How are we? How are we all? Are we all okay there? Welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess Rose. I'm here on a Tuesday and Thursday, live at 8 o'clock if you want to join me. Tuesdays are request evenings. Thursdays are stories I've found that I'm hoping that you haven't heard of. If you want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. And other than that, how are we all? How are we in the live? Hi, Warwick. Hi, sis. I've just seen yours. Hey, Hayley. How you doing? Oh, I wish I'd have seen this little setup beforehand. It's ace. It's actually quite good. Shall I see if the light works? I'm trying not to move anything. Hey, Phil. Here he is. He's back. How you doing, Phil? I'm trying not to shake the camera. I just want to see how long this wire is, and then I might try the ring light. But to be quite honest, it always reflects off my glasses. So bear with me a second. Just a second. I just want to see if it reaches. If it doesn't, there's no point in trying. Oh, it's a long wire. Ooh. Right. Hold on. You should be like, Jessica, wouldn't you have sorted this out earlier on? Yes, I would have. Had I known that my whole setup was going to break before I started. Right. Let me just try something now, guys. 1 second. Let me just try something. Right, okay. Let's try something. Ooh, it's come on. It's come on. Let me just try something. No. 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 Oh, that's a bit creepy. That's a bit creepy looking. Oh, I look like I'm about to tell you horror stories. Let me try. Is there a different shade? Oh, do we like that one? Oh, got a blue light. Blue light. I don't know how I feel about it. It's very bright, isn't it? What do we feel about it? You can see all of my... And then it's reflecting off my glasses. What do we think? Is that a bit much? Do we like that? It's a bit on the bright side though, no? I don't know how I feel about that. It's all a bit, ooh, it's a bit creepy, isn't it? I don't know. Do I look like, ooh, creep? I don't know. Should we give it a go for this one? Should I see if I can dull it down a little bit, because it is really bright. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can just dull it down a little bit. Like that. Oh, that's just off. Let's try again. What about that? What do we think? Do you know what, though? You can see my chins. It highlights everything. No wonder people do it for the makeup. No wonder they do that. What do we think, though? I don't know. I might just be checking myself out for the whole story. Anyway, how are we all on this Thursday evening out there? Are we all okay? What is in my way? God, there's me on about I want a new setup, and there it is right in front of me, for goodness sake. But I do want a mic, but I haven't got a red light. Do you know what I was really paranoid about? That when I was pressing those buttons, then I was like, please don't turn red. Please don't turn red, because Warwick's just going to have a field day if this goes red. I'm trying so hard to show that I'm not an OnlyFans, and I'm not on OnlyFans. And this hasn't helped me. This really hasn't helped matters, has it? At all. But like, how good will I look? How good will I look on the camera? Have another short set for you that I'll show you later. This is it looks kind of beige on here, but it's like a dusty pink. We have another one. I love my short sets at the minute, but I think the weather's going to change, so tough. I'm just going to have to wear them anyway. Doesn't matter. But we are Thursday. Have I told you all it's my birthday on Sunday? Have I mentioned that more than 3 times? Oh, Phil, superstar Jess. I am. That's who I am. Just, do you know, I'd love to be able to do that, because then you can't see the chins. It's just terrible. I need to learn how to do that contouring a bit better, don't I? And just hide it all. So anyway, Phil, did you have a good night at your brother's the other night? I know the England match didn't go too well, but did you have fun anyway? I hope you did. Do you know, this ring light's underneath, so I think it doesn't look as bad reflecting. How you doing, Natalie? How are you? Are we all like, I'm really loud tonight. Has anyone noticed? I think I've got myself really hyped up. So I'm very loud at the minute. I can hear that I'm really loud. Look at that shot. Do you know, it's making me look. Thanks, Phil. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I'm excited. I shouldn't get excited over my birthdays anymore, should I? I'm beyond that. But do you know what? I still do. I'm a child. I am genuinely a child. I mean, you can ask my parents about that, because if they don't message me bang on 12 o'clock on the 12 o'clock on my birthday, I get really upset. If they try and phone me the next day in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm all gone now. Birthday's gone now. So yeah, I get really offended by that. But yes, so I am a child. I'm just trying to fix this. Right. Do we know this one? I don't know how I feel about this. How do we know this story? Have I managed to get one that you don't know? Obviously, we know that's what I try and do on a Thursday. Right, I need you to tell me. I'm going to do the story like this, but I need you to tell me, one, if it becomes really off-putting, that the light's reflecting off my glasses. I need you to tell me that. And yeah, I just need you to tell me if I should continue with the ring light. So I just don't know how I feel about it. But yeah, how are we? You've all gone quiet. Where have you gone? Where have you all gone? Come back. And if you're watching tomorrow and you're like, why is she talking to herself? I promise you I'm not. But why aren't you here? Why aren't you here on the live? 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. Well, apart from the times I fly off on my holidays. But for the most part, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. So just come and join us. They're good fun in the comments. Besides the moderators, she can be a little bit finicky. But, you know, she's all right. She's all right for the most part. Calling you out. Right, okay. Well, if you've all gone quiet, I'm going to start. The story. That's what I'm going to do. And like the title says, now I didn't say when I put out the title today to you all, because I thought it just gives it away. But I have put it in the title just so it is boiled alive. Oh, the unsettling McGarity story. So I'm gonna. Is something going on? Why can't I see anyone talking? Tiffany, tell me if you're there, or Hayley, or Phil, or Warwick. Tell me if you're still there. Tell me if something's gone wrong before I start, because you've all gone really quiet and I don't understand why. There's something in my bottom corner and I don't know what that is, and I'm scared to press it. Shall I just press it? Just see what it is. Oh, chat. Oh. Look, no, it's okay. I can see yous. It's YouTube. They're messing about with me. Do you remember the other day when it was vertical portrait? they changed it to another screen. And just while I was looking, I was like, why can't I say, you've gone quiet again? I better not have to keep pressing this, you know. Oh no, it is there. It is there. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I was so confused. Like, what's going on? Oh, look at all them lovely comments, and I thought you weren't talking to me. No, I hadn't mentioned it as much as my elbow, but I'm going to. I'm going to. Just to know what's this. On for ages. There you are. You're all still there. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, okay. Right. No, my elbow's fine, so you just have to listen to about my... No. Oh, God, I'm going off on my tangent now. In the left corner, it's got like this little thing now where it only gives you the top comments, apparently. Not top comments, spam comments, something like that. And you have to go on to your live chat. It was showing me the comments originally and then just decided to mix it up halfway through. I wish YouTube, just leave it alone. Just leave stuff alone. Get used to it. Then they change the portrait. I get used to where that goes. Change it again. Find that tonight. Then my whole setup breaks down. Fix that. Discover I have a ring light. And then they mess about with my comments. I'm just, you know what? It's just not on. It's just not on at all. Yeah, okay, you are all still there. That's okay. That's all right. Right, okay. And I've just sprayed my glasses. I've literally just sprayed my glasses with my fan that I've been using. Right. Okay. I don't know if you're talking to me now because it's not showing. To like remember to guard. You've probably seen about our community guidelines. I get that. Okay, is the last comment... I'm sorry if you're watching tomorrow. Please bear with me. Is the last comment from Tiffany? Because if it is, we're all good. We're all back to normal. It says scroll up and catch up. Is that the last one? Because if it's not, it's gone wrong again. And I just can't see. And I'm not liking it. I'm going to start throwing my toys out the pram in a minute. I think they're determined that I'm not going to do lives. They're messing about for some reason. No, you've gone too quiet. Something's happening. Right. Right, you're all saying yes, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's all prattling about. Look. What is it? So now it's saying top chat. Some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Then live chat, all messages are visible. I'm pressing that. Now it's showing it again. It's trying to be naughty tonight. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start my story anyway. I'm going to start my story. And then we'll work it out at the end. But yes, I'm not ignoring anybody. For some reason, YouTube wants to just... Yes, now I can see. No, I can see Phil. I can see Phil as being the last comment, but you've just shown up. Thank God. I think we're back. Don't know what's going on. They're trying to make the whole night's just gone pear, hasn't it? And I'm sure it's got to be about 20:08 now, hasn't it? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I say 8 o'clock and then I keep you all waiting for ages. It's just not on. Well, I know what I did mean to ask. I am starting. I'm so sorry. But, you know when yous are talking before I actually come on, how are yous talking? How do yous get to talk? Is it in, look, how are you replying to each other and stuff if it's not on here? Just curious because I noticed, like, when I come on, I can see that yous have been chatting. I'm like, how are they talking? You're the spammer. Don't be the spammer. Do you know, you missed it, Phil. We had a few of them the other night. Okay, fair enough. That's why that is. And yes, Phil, I'm sure they'll fill you in. We had a few spammers the other night. It was threw me off. But your moderator in there got onto it. Warwick had to pretend to be her husband at one point. It was all It was all a bit crazy the other night. Right, anyway, I'm going to bypass. I'll come back to the comments in a bit. You can't see Phil. Phil's last one was, did I not tell you that I'm a spammer? That was, I pressed something now. No, it just says live chat. I don't know why you can't see Phil though. Tiffany, check yours. Check in the bottom corner. You're right, I'll be back. Right, okay, Tiffany, I'm going to start anyway. I'm going to start. People are going to start losing their minds. Okay. Boiled Alive, the Unsettling McGarity story. Okay, if everyone's ready for me to go, we're going to start. Okay. McGarity. Okay. Right. McGarity. Haven't got his date of birth and stuff like that. I've got him born in 1977. If you have heard of this story, which you might well have heard of it, you will see that the information about it is very, very confusing. And I'll break it down as I'm going along with the story. Okay. So he was born in 1977. He was from Toledo in Ohio, obviously an American story, in the Midwest. And it was from a little town called Holland. So Holland, Toledo in Ohio. Okay. Now, what I've seen about Kyle and everywhere I've seen about him, he seemed like just a really big-hearted, really lovely guy. Really, and I know I say a lot in these stories, but it's from anyone who has spoken about him, anyone, that's the first thing they say about him, just that he was such a sweetheart, just a really, really, really nice lad. Now, he went to St. Francis de Sales High School, where he was on the swim team. Again, like I say, very popular, very sweet boy, very close with his family. Had an older sister called Shannon McGarity. After high school, he went on to Miami University. This was in about 1997. And while he was at university, he would work as a pharmacy technician in Ohio. So he'd go back there in the summers, should I say. So he'd go back there in the summers and he'd work as a pharmacy technician. He ended up leaving university, and why can I not get that word into my head? Well, anyway, ignore me. He left Miami University with a degree in psychology and business. And like I say, it just seemed like a really lovely boy. I mean, right down to he was an animal lover as well, and he'd found like this dog who'd looked obviously abused, and this was while he was in university, and he was paying for himself to go through uni with his job that he had and everything else. And he actually went to his parents and he asked them to help with the vet bills because this dog was in a really bad way. And he got him healthy again, and the dog went on to become their family dog. It just seemed like he just a really, really big-hearted fella. He really did. So when he finished college around 2001, he moved to New York City, not New York City, sorry, Manhattan, but in New York. And he moved in with his sister. Remember I said his older sister, Shannon. So now where he moved it's called Lower Manhattan, and it was South Street, Seaport, New York. New York's so confusing to me. I know there's 5 boroughs. I think, isn't it? The 5 boroughs are Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn. I know there's 5 boroughs in New York. I'm pants, but I know Manhattan's one of them. And that's where he moved, like to the Big Apple, and come out of this very small town where he'd been brought up, and just he just thought this was going to be amazing. He was about 25 at this point, sorry, 24 at this point, and he was just so excited to be in the big city. And because he'd always worked, and he was a go-getter in life, as soon as he got there, he started looking for a job when he was there. And quite quickly, he got a job at a pharmacy, which is what he'd been doing back at home in Ohio. And this was in the financial district near the World Trade Center, and this was in the spring of 2001. Okay. He loved New York. He very, very quickly made friends while he was there. And people who spoke about him said the same thing, said he was just such a likable fella. He really was, couldn't do enough for you. He was just an all-round good guy. That's no matter where I've looked when researching this story, that's all I've heard about this guy. Just a really likable fella. Okay. Now, I did say he started working at the pharmacy in spring 2001. We know what happened in September of 2001. Now, where the pharmacy was located, it was in the financial district, as I said. The pharmacy ended up getting shut down, so a lot aside with an awful lot of other people, as there was so many lives lost. We know there was 3,000 lives lost on that day. And Kyle himself ended up losing his job there. Obviously, nothing compared to what everyone, like all the people who'd lost family members and everything during that. It's just with relation to this story, he did lose his job at the pharmacy he'd been working at. So, in December 2002, now, so after September 11th, he obviously lost his job because of the pharmacy. He was flitting backwards and forwards. He was trying to get a job. Now, remember I said he had a degree in psychology, he had a degree in business. He was a really intelligent guy, but New York was really hard to get a job, and especially after September 11th, it was really hard to get any work there. But he carried on knuckling down, and in December 2002, he got a job at a steakhouse called the Mark Joseph Steakhouse. All right. Now, this steakhouse had actually opened up apparently the January 2001. It had managed to stay above water, and he started working there as a waiter. Now, he was just happy to be working. Now, obviously, he was overqualified for the job, but from what I've heard about New York and LA, you have got the most qualified people doing these sort of jobs: waiters, bartenders, waitresses. That's what they're the jobs they get, because everyone floods there. Everyone thinks the streets are paved with gold, and obviously when they get there, they're like, right, okay, I've got to start earning money, or I'm going to have to leave. So he was very happy with his job. Okay. So now we're going to come up to Friday, September the 13th, 2002. So obviously just a year and 2 days of the devastation that had happened the year before. Okay. So Kyle, who'd been at work doing his shift, he'd been at work for hours, finished his shift, went back to his apartment, and when he got back to his apartment that I remember me saying he shared with his sister Shannon, as he was coming to the corridor, so I'm not sure what floor he lived on, but as he's coming along the corridor to get to his apartment, he sees a gentleman that he's made friends with, and this man's name is called Keith Masters. Now, Keith is about 47, and they'd become acquaintances through living, in the apartments. They'd been out for drinks a few times, and they got on quite well. Now, Keith, at this point, as Kyle had got home, was just getting ready to leave with his girlfriend. They were going out for a night out on the town. It was a Friday night. They're ready to party. And they invite Kyle to come along with them. Kyle was like, absolutely. You know, he's just done a very long shift at work. He's like, yes, let's go, let's do it. So he runs in, gets changed, comes out and catches up with the couple. So they're making a night of it. They're having fun, the three of them. You know, for all intents and purposes, they're quite tipsy, but they've had a really good night. But throughout the evening, Keith and his girlfriend have little bickers, nothing serious, just these little squabbles, really. You know what drink can do, it can bring you on. Now, it was said about Keith that he was a big guy. He was about 6'2", quite a big built fella. I've heard that he was called sort of a gentle giant type figure. But it was said when he was drinking or when he had a drink, he could turn sometimes. He could be a little bit contrary. So just keeping that in mind, him and his girlfriend were having these little bickers. So now they're going to the early hours of Saturday, September the 14th, 2002. And it was about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. The three of them were heading home at this point. And it said that where they lived and where their apartment was set, it must have been really expensive to live there, because I've heard New York's really, really expensive, and Manhattan. Pretty sure, wasn't that where Friends was filmed and stuff? And it's just, that whole area is just constantly buzzing with, bars, restaurants. It's constantly, it gets a bit quieter at that time, but there's always people around. There's always people awake. There's always people coming and going. So anyway, they're on the way home, and Keith and his girlfriend, you'll notice I keep saying girlfriend because I genuinely don't know her name. I'll just say that, okay? So when they're coming back, Keith and his girlfriend start bickering again. They start arguing. Now, like I say, this is about between 3 and 4 a.m. And there's people that live in apartment blocks overlooking these streets. And this street was called, Fulton and Pearl Streets, like I say, near Lower Manhattan. South Street, Seaport. That's where this was called. And it was overlooked by apartment buildings, and some people in these apartments started to hear shouting, going on down on the streets. But what they're hearing, it's not a man and a woman, given the fact that it was Keith and his girlfriend who'd been bickering a few times during the evening. They could hear two men arguing and getting really quite loud. So a call to 911 was made because it was getting quite rowdy down there and stuff. But then all of a sudden, a gut-wrenching scream was heard. Like this guttural scream. And it was heard by a lot of people living, in the vicinity. And it was actually, the arguing wasn't Keith and his girlfriend. It was Kyle and Keith that were arguing. You might be like, why? Anyway, within minutes, the police get there, okay, because they've had this call saying there's something going on. This guttural screams being heard. Police get there very, very quickly. And there's Keith. There's his girlfriend. But they'd heard it was two men who were fighting. And there's no sign of this other man. All of a sudden, the police can hear this screaming. But this screaming was coming from underneath them. and it was Kyle. And basically Kyle, somehow, the police didn't know how at this point in time, he'd fell 20 feet down into a concrete pit. You might be like, well, why would that cause him to scream? Well, this was a steam drain. Okay. And basically, running all underneath Manhattan, all under their buildings, was boiling hot water that would cause steam to come up through the drains. We've all seen it on any films that you've seen of New York where it's dark and you see steams coming up through the manholes. Well, these are the steam drains. And he's basically fell down and he's immersed in 300-degree water. Okay, so his body's partly immersed in that. He's being boiled alive, and with the steam and the water, and the guy's being boiled alive. And around all the area of this manhole, anyone who was around that area could just hear him screaming for help. And the police, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't help him. They were looking down and he was reaching up for them to help him, and they couldn't help him because whoever went down would be in the same position. So a call was made to the company who ran the steam drains round the city of New York, who were called, if you bear with me, sorry about this, I'll come to it another time anyway. It's a company that run everywhere. Sorry, they are called oh, for goodness sake, I'm sorry about this. I had it. Con-Edison. Sorry, guys. A call was put through to Con-Edison, who manage all this. It's the company that run the steam. Basically, it all runs all the heating and everything for all the businesses and apartments around the city. Okay, to turn the steam off. That a call was put through, and during this time Kyle's still screaming. And you might be like, but hang on a minute, he's obviously in immense pain, and you hear if it's fire, your nerve endings stop, don't you? They don't with steam. You know, your nerves don't stop, they stay alive during that time. So he was feeling every bit of pain from the boiling water and the steam. So basically he was boiling alive while he was down there. And it actually took him 20 minutes to die. He died in that steam drain. Basically, it was said that a vent stack, because you might be thinking, well, why is this manhole open? How did he fall down it? And if you've ever seen a vent stack, it stands about 10 to 12 foot high, and they're put over these drains when there's work put on them. And it was said that one of the pipes had burst earlier on, so they've been out doing work on it, and these vent stacks are put over it to allow the steam to come out, but so no one falls in. So this had been put over there, and Con-Ed, which is Con-Edison, had said that someone had been out there as late as 2:30 that morning to check it, and it was all intact at that time. Now, this was between 3 and 4 a.m. So not long after everything was checked to make sure it was all safe and intact and everything else. It hadn't been touched at that time. So everyone was a bit confused. you know, what's gone on? What's happened here? So the water main was shut off, but it actually took 5 hours to be able to remove Cole's body, which would have made it about 8 a.m. now on the Saturday morning. Now, NYPD were very confused as to what had gone on. They were like, how did he manage to fall down there? So they talked to Keith and his girlfriend, and Keith relays the information as this. He says that they were roughhousing. They were roughhousing, like play fighting on the street. That's what they were doing. And he says that basically, while this was going on, the pair of them had fell into the vent stack, and that he'd gone down. Now, remember what I says about Keith? He was 6'2". He was a heavy set guy. He said he'd gone down first and he'd kind of landed on his elbows and his forearms and managed to hold himself there. And then Kyle had come past him, like fell past him, and he dropped the 20 foot onto the concrete floor of the drain. And the police were really confused by this. They were like, and you can actually see footage of the police. I know I know how far it goes back. It goes back to 2002, and I'll explain how. I'll explain how that, you know, you got to view this footage. I'll explain that in a little while. But you see them discussing it, and you can see one of the female police officers sort of there, like, looking really, did that happen? Did that really happen? Didn't make sense. So when Keith and his girlfriend were sent to the hospital just to check them out, she was fine. And they checked Keith. He had scratches on his face and abrasions, nothing on his arms, nothing at all. It just wasn't adding up. What he was saying had happened, it just didn't make sense, okay? So in the meantime, an autopsy was done of Kyle. His skin had completely peeled off. He was steamed and boiled alive. Remember, I said he would have felt every single bit of it from beginning to end. To the point where it actually boiled his organs inside. His brain and his heart. Bear with me, sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. His brain and his heart were steamed solid, which just doesn't bear thinking about. His body temperature had gone above 125 degrees. And it was said it would have been far above that, only the thermostat they had there, not the thermostat, the thermometer they had there only went to 125 degrees. So it said his body temperature would have been way above that. And she declared that it was a homicide. The pathologist was called Julie Malenik, and she said that it was the worst case she'd ever came across. She just said it was absolutely devastating to see this young lad. He was 25. Remember I said, obviously, Keith is still sticking to his story. We were roughhousing, we were playing, we weren't flowing into it. But remember I said at the beginning there was apartments looking over the road, or they could hear this fighting going on. There was witnesses. Okay, one of the witnesses came straight out when the police were there. Came out while the police were there, and he come up to them and he says, that wasn't what happened. That's not what happened. He says, don't listen to it. What I actually heard is that Kyle was shouting, no, don't break my legs. So was he over the manhole and saying, don't drop me in, you'll break my legs? Is that what was going on? You had another witness basically saying he threw him in. He threw him in. And he said, don't let them tell you any different. That's what happened. There was a taxi driver that was driving past who saw Keith and his girlfriend stood around this manhole looking very panicked. He asked them what's gone on, and he says all that happened was this girl says he's falling. And he says, and then he saw a phone in 911. Now, they did phone 911, Keith and his girlfriend, but only once. After they'd spoken to this taxi driver, maybe it dawned on them that people had seen what had gone on, but it was only then they phoned 911. And then there was another witness that says there was a big guy. He saw a big guy run behind a smaller guy and just start wailing on him. That's what another witness said. Keith, denying all of it, says absolutely not. We were play fighting and that's all we were doing. He was my friend. We were roughhousing. There was nothing more in it. I fell in. He sticks completely to his story, but his girlfriend, who's also been brought in, the police say to her, listen, you were there, and if we find out, and when we find out exactly what happened, you're going down as well. So then she says what happened. Now, do you remember when I says that Keith and his girlfriend had been bickering the majority of the evening? Well, at the last time they were bickering, which was as they were walking towards their apartment building, as they started bickering, Kyle, who must have been sick of this, he must have been sick of hearing it all night, but she says that this particular bickering, it had escalated. It was getting quite serious between her and Keith at this point. So what Kyle had done, he'd walked up to Keith's girlfriend, he put his arm around her, and he kind of walked ahead of Keith, basically to separate the two and to stop her from continuing this argument. It's a situation that you see all the time on drunken streets everywhere. You'll always get someone bickering, whether it's two men, two women, a male and a female. You'll always get someone who will try and jump in and try and stop the fight happening and things like that. It's something that it's not an unusual thing to happen. She says, but for some reason, Keith just saw red and he just believed that Cole was trying it on with his girlfriend. He'd just been out with them all night. They were arguing. It was quite obvious what he was doing. He was trying to stop this argument before it escalated any further. And she said that all of a sudden, Keith just came running up behind him, dragged him away, pushed him up against a wall, and just started beating on him. And it was said that Kyle had tried to, people who'd heard Kyle and had heard what was going on had said they could hear him using a voice that was, although they couldn't hear the words he was using, it was kind of a de-escalating voice, like, come on, mate. It was that kind of voice. It was that kind of tone. And Keith wasn't having it at all, and he just carried on. He just carried on beating him. He was really, really trying to hurt Kyle. And what she says because of the steam coming up, she couldn't see whether Keith had pushed him or Kyle had fell. So she stuck to that. She says she couldn't say whether he'd been pushed or fell. But don't forget, there was a few witnesses that were there who said he threw him in. And plus, don't forget, you had Kyle saying, no, don't break my legs. So whether Kyle hadn't realised, don't forget, mind you, he'd been living in New York a while, so maybe he knew what was down there. But maybe he hadn't realised the temperature of the water, and maybe he was just concerned at the fall, the 20-foot fall, that would hurt him. Maybe he didn't realise that the temperature of the water is about to hit, and the steam that was going to cut, that was down there, or the damage the steam would do to him, should I say. So Keith at this point is charged with second-degree murder. But he just would not confess, and they pushed him and they pushed him and they pushed him. And even with the witnesses, and this is what I'm about to blow all your brains now. We're talking about America, don't forget. Even with the witnesses and his girlfriend, the charges were dropped. Even with the autopsy, even with the pathologist saying it's a homicide, the charges were dropped. And there's nothing to say, like, why? I'm so empty with this story. I want to share it because there's not a lot on this story, but the charges are dropped on him. Now we got to 2004, and do you remember I was mentioned earlier, and it sounded a little bit sketchy what I was saying? Well, ABC, which is a channel over in America, they were doing a show. Apparently it came out after September 11th itself, and it was called NYPD 24/7. It's one of these camera shows where they follow, the New York Police Department around when they're arresting people and crimes that have gone on. Well, this show had started after it were after. Sorry, I've just seen someone say 3rd-degree burns. It was third and fourth degree burns, which we know what that would do. I thought I'd said that, sorry. So this show, which had started after September 11th, but was running when this had happened, they'd followed the police detectives around while they were looking into this crime. Okay. So Cole's family got wind that they were going to air this show, which covered Cole's death in the manhole. They were covering it. And not only that, they were going to show a photo of Kyle at the bottom of the manhole, on the floor, immersed in the water. They were going to show that. And all that was blurred was his face, but you could see his arms, his legs, and his torso in this photo. And they begged, before it was aired, they begged ABC, which was owned by Disney, they begged them, please, please don't show this photo for our, for just respect for Kyle and for us, please don't show it. I haven't seen the show, but I've heard they showed the photo anyway. Now, in the 2004 show as well, you see these detectives, and I've watched bits of it myself. Not the show itself, I've seen clips of it while I was researching this, and you do hear the detectives say, oh, it was two drunks. It was just two drunks. And his family were like, why is he saying that on there? Although we learn that it's different. People who only watch that show wouldn't have known all these details about Kyle. I think that's why I wanted to do the story. He was known just as a bartender. He was just a bartender, two drunks out there, and, you know, he fell in there, or was he pushed? We don't know. But Kyle's life was just completely dismissed on this show. Now, Shannon, his sister, she basically just said that it's insensitive, it's indecent, and it's distasteful. They were the terms she used with regards to the show. But ABC considered that blurring Cole's face was more than enough, and they released the show. ABC also said that he was boiled black, which was incorrect. That wasn't true. Like I said, they called him a bartender, he's called a drunk, and based on this and the newspaper reports that came out afterwards, when it went back to Cole's family and friends, they were all so confused because they knew this wasn't him. He didn't sound like him. You know, they didn't cover it properly. One of his friends says it all sounded very fishy because Cole wasn't a fighter. He wasn't aggressive in any way. None of it made sense. None of it. But for some reason, they dropped the charges. And even though I'm telling you this story, and I've been caught a few times doing the story, I don't understand why it didn't go any further. I don't get it. I don't understand. But the pathologist who done his autopsy, she actually wrote a book. The book was called, if you bear with me, it was called Working Stiff. It's a bit, I don't know about the name of that. I don't know. Where she'd said it was the worst case ever. Now, in this book, she names Kyle, Sean, and Keith Michael. I don't know why, even though the details were out there of the guys' names, I don't know why she gave them those names in the book. I don't know if she thought maybe for the family. I'm not too sure. I don't understand. And I have, while researching this, I've seen different creators. I've seen different news reports where they are also using the names Sean and Michael. Again, I don't know why those names were used originally. I'm sure she had her reasons. I'm sure people who've gone on to use their names had their reasons, but that wasn't his name. His name wasn't Sean. His name was McGarity. That was his name, and I don't know why his name's been changed in certain things. That it hasn't been for the family, because as far as I know, this isn't a thing that happens often. In New York in 2002, when discussing a young man who's lost his life falling down a manhole and being boiled alive. Pretty sure that's not a common thing to happen. I'm pretty sure his family's going to know who they're talking about. So I'm not too sure why the change in name, but I'm going to say his name, and his name's McGarity. And I know there's some places that have said his name, but awful lot that have used this different name of Sean. And I'm not doing that. I'm using his proper name. And if anyone watches this and wants to come out and tell me why these other names were used, then by all means, and I'll update in the next video. But that was his name, and I just thought it was an absolutely horrific way to die. And I think the reason this story got me is I know in fires that absolutely horrific way to die, but after a certain temperature, your nerves, because I'm not using the right word, I'm not using the right term, but your nerves just don't feel it anymore, do they? They're kind of cut off. So you can't feel the pain of the fire after a certain amount of time. And when I realised that wasn't the same thing for steam, I heard that he felt every single minute of pain while he was down there. I just thought it was horrific. And the amount of people that would have been around that manhole while he's down there, reaching up and begging for help, and no one could help him. It was said they did try to send rope down to him, but by that point, his body was shutting down, or as the pathologist said, look, his internal organs were boiling. They were boiling inside, so he couldn't grab the rope. I do wonder if when he'd first gone down, maybe if Keith had been the friend you'd have hoped he might have been, maybe he could have. I mean, of course, he couldn't have reached down. It's 20 foot, but could he have not sent something? Could he have not done something? I just don't know. I don't know, but I just can't imagine that it didn't affect the the police and the authorities that were there having to listen to this young man screaming, like guttural screams for 20 minutes solid. I just thought it's horrific. Absolutely awful case. And I just wanted to do it for you all because there's just not much out there of this story, and I just felt I wanted to do it for you. So that was Boiled Alive, the Unsettling McGarity story. Thank you all for joining me. And I'm just sad that that there was no one paid for it, to be honest. I mean, as far as I know, Keith stuck to his guns, but even his own girlfriend says that's not what happened, although she says that she doesn't know if he fell or he was pushed. But even let's just say he did fall. Something knocked that stacker down. So if he was pushed into that and then fell down, that's what would have happened. That could only have been what happened, because these are very heavy stackers that are in front of it. It's to protect the public from falling into it. So I would imagine they're not just, you couldn't just go up to it and go. There would have been force needed. So I don't know. At least manslaughter. I mean, what's your guys' opinion? To me, that's what it says. Or maybe I'm just being a bit harsh. I don't know. But from what I've found while I've been looking, I think at least manslaughter now. But yeah. So that was tonight's story, our Thursday night story. Thank you all for joining me. And now that we've done that, Warwick, I'm going to kill you. Oh my God. Oh, I've never been so close. So close. What was it you said now? What was it you said? What was it you said? I could have absolutely killed you. And I know I couldn't have held it. I know I couldn't have held it. Anything on his elbows. Was that it? I think that was it, wasn't it? I think that's what got me. It was that. Oh my God. Honestly. I thought, I can't. I'm going to have to cut the live off. I could have killed. I was literally down there. Look, tears. Terrible. He's a terrible. Absolute. Oh. I didn't even think of that. And me the other night going, I put my finger in it. I don't even mean to say these things. I know, I probably shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I could have. I know. Maybe I should have waited 5 minutes before I said that. Did you just say I could never look down a man? Use it honestly. Where are we? Just looking. I knew you'd have something to say about the book as well. I thought I've got to say the name of this book, but I know that one of them's going to jump on it. You're terrible. If anyone's wondering, to some of my reactions, have a look in my comments. I'm blaming all of them. But how was it? What did you think? No, it's very sad. No, very sad story. I just thought, oh, it's just so sad and the fact that we don't even know about it. He's so into us all, yet he also can't take it. It's very true. That's very true. He is. He's a naughty boy. He's a very, very naughty boy. It wasn't he? I think the fact that there's just not as enough out there on him. So what a way to go, like. You just think there'd be more out there. That's what I wanted to do it for, yes. You know, I like to phone these ones on a Thursday. You know, I like to. Now I'm saying, look, I have my trusty. I should do adverts, shouldn't I? I should do adverts. That's what I should do. How are we doing? Have Phil and Warwick been good tonight? Have we all been good tonight? Have we all been getting along? Have we had any dodgies in? Were any dodgies on the live? I haven't noticed. I didn't notice while I was going. I know, that's what I thought. It's fabulous. You can, I mean, I can't show the fan because my battery's gone. Oh no, oh no! That's been working the whole time. I was trying to switch it on. Oh, okay, that's been working the whole time. Just you and Warwick, yes, you are very dodgy. You are very, very dodgy. You're a dodgy pair. That's what you are. What do we think of the light then? Do we keep the light? What do we think? Was it off-putting seeing it in my glasses? Was that off-putting? Where's Warwick gone anyway? He's been very quiet. He's been very sheepish since I came off. Where are you, Warwick? You've been very, very quiet since I came off. Are you hiding? Is that what you're doing? Yeah, it's I can't believe that's been working the whole time. I thought the batteries had gone. Gutty now. I could have been using it that whole time. Just see how wet my legs are. Spraying. Just stop sweating. There's nothing wrong with a dodgy pair. There isn't. There genuinely isn't. Do you want to see my new shorts outfit as well? Do you want me to show? Now you're going to see how wet my legs are. This is what I have to do to try and stay cool while I'm telling the story. What do we think? Do we like it? It just shows up when I look really shiny though, don't I? Right, hang on, let me show you. we have, what do we think of these ones? Look how wet the legs are. But what do we think? This is another one. Another set. No, he's back. He's back now. He's back. He's okay. Have you been all giving each other stick then? Is that what's been going on? Besides trying to put me off halfway through. Which you nearly succeeded. You was this close. This close. Fabulous, isn't it? Fabulous. I think I have one more to show you. And then you've seen them all. You preferred the black. The black was not... I do like the black as well. The black's very nice. I've got one more to show. I think it's blue. I've got a blue one. So I'll have to show you that on Tuesday. We've gone through them all. Sorry, Phil. I'm showing my shorts and top sets because I'm now an elderly woman. So I get very excited over shorts and top sets that I can wear in the day out in public. Love them. Because normally, like, you can only wear them in the house, can't you? But these are for public showing, and I love them. They're fab. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So what are we doing the weekend? Are we good? Are we all good? Are we all good? Are we doing anything good, should I say? Are we doing anything exciting? Did I say it's my birthday? Did I tell you it's my birthday on Sunday? Did I tell you? Just thought I'd say it's my birthday on Sunday. I'm very excited. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything at all. Oh, Phil, I'm really elderly. Do you want me to say it? I've told you how old I am, haven't I? Do I say it again? Do I say it again on camera? Yeah, I'm really elderly now. Really knocking on a bit now. I am 46 years old on Sunday. That's how old I am. So I'm really cracking on a bit. I'm terrible. Oh, no, Natalie, no. Oh, no. Awful. What for? Why do you need that injection for? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. 36. Yes, I have told you, Phil, of course, because there's 10 years between us. So you would have been born in 88 then, wouldn't you? Yes, you're an 88 baby. That's who you are. So you're also a millennial like Tiffany. Tiffany's a millennial. How old are you, Warwick? Have I asked you before? Yes, I'm sorry, Natalie. Tiffany does beat you. A lot older than you, Phil. A lot older. That whole decade. Yeah, she's seen her in-laws at the weekend. It's a feeling, and I'm 37. Look at Phil. I think he's one of the youngest on her, isn't he? Are you 37? Oh, the feeling as well. Oh, no. But I have got to say, Natalie, Tiffany's got it worse this weekend. I'm afraid to say. We will send our sympathies out for. No, you're going to have a lovely time, sis. You're going to have a fabulous time. You're going to be all dressed up. She's going to a wedding. You'd swear she was going to a funeral, wouldn't you? She's going to a wedding. And she's going to look. Is that bad to say? I mean, that's okay, isn't it? I just meant, look. Do you see what you do to me sometimes? Be going to hell. Stop. Making me say things out loud. So naughty. But no, she's going to have a good time. She's going to get all dressed up. She's going to look fabulous. And she's going to drink a lot for us all. And I'm going to be very jealous. Although I do have my quiz on Sunday. Nail it. Stop. See, used to, I swear. See, do you know what I'd have had to have done? You are the baby of the child. Where did Warwick go? He's hiding. How old are you, Warwick? Stop hiding. We've all give our ages out now. Tiffany, did you give your age out? Give your age out or I'll give it. And so Warwick can give his now. Look at you pair being all sneaky sneaks. Tiffany has just turned an age, to tell them how old you are. And that was really naughty. There she is. Right now, it's just you, Warwick. Just you. Just you not telling. And where's Kelly and Sharon? What happened to them? It's been weeks now. I haven't seen them. They missed. I wonder where good. Maybe Kelly didn't come back from Turkey. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. And what was I going to say? I was going to say, yes, and you nearly did just get me. See, I don't know what made me. I don't know what stopped me. I don't know what stopped me saying that out loud. I don't know what it was, but I'm so glad I did. I'd have had to cut the live. maybe, I don't know. But I don't know where he's gone. He's probably too ashamed to say. Is that because he's a lot older or he's a lot younger? Could be either. That could be Phil. Could be either. Could be. I've got to admit, I'm think I'm quite right in saying I'm possibly one of the oldest people on YouTube as a whole, just on YouTube in life. I reckon I'm up there now. I reckon it's mainly youngsters, isn't it, on the YouTube and on the Twitter and on the TikTok. 15 in the head. Same, Warwick, same. I feel like, do you know, can I just tell you all? Tiffany will know what I'm on about. Karen's probably... You're getting some stick, Warwick. No, yesterday I went to take a look around my old senior school. Tiffany would know what that is because it's hers too. And can I just say, it hasn't changed that much. Except it just seems smaller. It seems smaller. That's all I'll say about it. And I flew back 30 years. And it was then that it dawned on me that it had been 30 years since I'd last been in there. And I was mortified at that. But all of a sudden, I felt like saying sir and miss again. It was crazy. It was crazy feeling. But yes, so I know what you mean, Warwick. I feel like I'm 15 sometimes too. It's terrible in my head. Well, not 15, maybe 18. No, nothing. Couple of updates. They've got like an AstroTurf football pitch now and a new reception area. But other than that, it's pretty much as it was. I think it's still got the same, in the hallway you do on the stage where you'd have your curtains. Pretty sure same curtains. Pretty sure from when I was there. But I don't know. But it looked like it. It did look like it. But it was, it was interesting to go back. It was, what do they call it? Nostalgic. A lot of memories come back. But yes, so I know what you mean, Phil. Warwick. I feel about 18 myself. So, but yeah, so birthday on Sunday. That's about it, really. That's all I'm doing. Tiff's got a wedding. Natalie's got a tooth out. Phil and Warwick, are you up to anything nice? Anything going on? But I know, it's scary stuff. I don't want him to go. I want to keep him where he is, but I can't. I'm still spraying. My legs are soaking. It's terrible. Right. Well, thank you all for joining me again on this Thursday, very warm Thursday evening. Do you know what I like about this light as well? You can really see my tan. Look. Not showing you elbows, showing you tan. Do you know what? You can't really know. Again, the light, you can't see it. But I'm very bronzed. Now there, look. Now you can see it there. See that? I know, I walked into that one, didn't I? My legs are soaking. Look at that. Right. And it's jingle time. If you're watching tomorrow, I can't imagine you'd still be watching now. But if you are, why aren't you here? Join us here, and then you could be here for like an hour and a half too. Or you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/JessRose. No, I forgot my slash. Had gone. patreon.com/JessRose5472. Or look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, comment, look at that. I don't know if that's sweater, I'm just showing it. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, comment, subscribe. Look, comment, subscribe, guys, please. And comment after. Just even go in and just comment. Do the comment tag thing if you want to. Just get us up there. Look, comment, subscribe. But good night all, and I will see you all on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Thank you all again. Thank you, Warwick and Phil and Tiff and Natalie and Hayley. Where did Hayley? I didn't say Hayley after a while. Hayley and anyone else who I haven't seen. Thank you all. So I've said everyone, haven't I? I've said everyone. Warwick and Phil. Yes, I have. But thank you all so much. And I'll have a fab weekend. And I'll see you all next week. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, guys.